Good morning. Mark from Homans Associates here. I'm going to introduce Housecall Pro's latest webcast from last night, Wednesday, April 15th. The webcast is titled Workshop Wednesday, and it's going to cover some Facebook essentials. Following the daily news update, the Housecall Pro team of Alexa, Roland, and Natalie will walk you through the most important things you need to be doing with your Facebook pages. While many companies have reduced their marketing spend, the importance of leveraging social media continues to rise. Consumers are spending more time than ever on social media, especially Facebook and Instagram. The Housecall Pro team will walk you through the most important types of posts on Facebook, ones that drive engagement. They're going to talk about leveraging Facebook Stories and Facebook Live, and linking your account to automatically post to Instagram. Now's the time to get the most out of your Facebook marketing strategy. Also, the Homans Associates YouTube page is officially live. You can check it out. All you have to do is type in Homans Associates into YouTube, subscribe to the channel. It'll have all these videos on there. And we're also going to be adding some training videos and other informational type stuff to that. So please check it out. And of course, you can go to our website, homans.com/resources. That'll have links to these videos as well. That also has lots of good information if you want to check that out about things you can be taking advantage of right now. Lots of good information on there. So that's it for me. Have a great day. And now we're on to the webcast.
Let's get into it. Welcome to your evening broadcast. My name is Alexa. I'm the head of online community here at Housecall, and I'm your host for the coronavirus evening update for home service businesses. I'm joined by my co-host Roland, co-founder of Housecall Pro, and Mel, our SVP of People. You can think of them as your in-house business and HR strategy experts. So each evening at 5 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Thursday, we share the state of the world according to the home service industry, and we focus on one main topic, our guest. Tonight's guest, you're looking at two of them right now for our Workshop Wednesday. So if you want to watch past episodes of this, go ahead and head over to our YouTube. It's just Housecall Pro. There's a whole coronavirus playlist available for you to watch and go through. And then there's actually a bunch of resources that go with each evening update that we do that are in the Housecall Pro blog. So all you have to do to access those is housecallpro.com/coronavirus. And one last thing before we get into it, if you are not yet in the Facebook group, I will post the link there. But again, there's over 2,500 members in there. That is your biggest support right there during this time. Pros who are going through the same exact thing that you are. And this is also where we share all of the resources as well. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it to Mel for the evening update, and I will be back with Natalie in a little bit.
Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for joining us, those of you who are here. For a repeat viewing, I've got lots of familiar faces and states and locations that I'm starting to be familiar with every night. And welcome to those of you who are joining us for the first time. I'm Melina Fairley, Senior Vice President of People here at Housecall Pro. And please feel free to call me Mel. I'm not a reporter or a doctor. Rather, I'm a mom and a Marine Corps wife, a homeowner, business leader, and a human resources professional. So I've been doing HR work for over 20 years. I spent 15 years at the grocery store Trader Joe's, so thank you, Roland, for the shout out for some of their fabulous products, where I was the head of recruitment and development. So I do know a thing or two about the customer experience, and I'm looking forward to learning more about how to connect with customers online, something we didn't do a lot of over there. So we come to you live Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific to give you a daily recap of what's going on in the news related to coronavirus, and to bring you information and guests and advice and a sense of community during these constantly changing times. So with that said, here is your update for Wednesday, April 15th, 2020. The Johns Hopkins dashboard that we refer to every night is currently reporting over 2 million global cases and over 134,000 deaths globally as of about 4:30. US cases are now at over 636,000 cases and over 27,000 deaths as of about a half hour ago. There you go. Roland's going to click into that for you.
Live. There we go.
Yeah. So I looked up at 4:32 p.m. and deaths in the U.S. were at 27,940, and now they're at 28,326. This obviously doesn't mean necessarily that's what's literally happened in the last half hour. This is just as the reports come in. So they do change this throughout the day as the reports are coming. And then Roland showed the other day, they've got a few new features here where they're tracking recovered, hospitalizations, as well as testing. So this is Johns Hopkins. It's a good source of up-to-date information. You can look at your state, look at countries that, of interest or places where you have family. So looking at the news on a global perspective, the number of countries around the world that have implemented border and travel restrictions, including the US-Canadian border, is continuing to grow. So in Europe, some border crossings have literally been closed entirely. Others are enforcing restrictions on non-essential travel. And in many places, particularly cities near national borders, workers that used to cross the border daily for their jobs are finding their journey difficult or even impossible under the new restrictions. So that's also contributing to, economic challenges across Europe, where folks were used to going across borders easily for work. And so some of those workers are also people that serve some of the essential services, or even folks that serve in supporting roles in the medical profession. So that's currently an issue that they're working on. Singapore enhanced its ongoing community level physical distancing by announcing that masks will now be mandatory in public spaces, something that some cities have done, in the US, but we haven't seen much broader than that. So Singapore, definitely known for strict laws and fines, and they've deployed 3,000 enforcement officers from dozens of government agencies to monitor for this compliance of maintaining distance and wearing masks in public. So back at home.
Yeah, we in San Diego now we see that too. Grocery stores, gas stations, all the essential places, you have to wear masks, otherwise they won't let you in.
Yeah, I'm starting to see people wearing them on walks and on bike rides, which aren't required of us here in San Diego, but it definitely seems to be something that is becoming more common these days. Today, the president said in the White House Rose Garden at the daily coronavirus task force briefing that, quote, "The data suggests that nationwide we have passed the peak of new cases," end quote. He also mentioned that number of more than 3 million tests that have been completed, and also announced that researchers were on the verge of delivering an antibody test to determine whether a person has previously been infected with the virus. So this is something that we keep hearing a lot about. I know people personally who don't know if they've had it or not. They think they might have based on symptoms, but without a test for antibodies, it's hard to know if you've actually been exposed to it and had it or not, which could also make it more difficult for us all to return to work and be in buildings together if we're not sure if we've been exposed yet or not. The president also said that tomorrow he would announce guidelines on reopening some states, which is expected to have maybe some partial reopening or loosening ahead of May 1st. He said, quote, "These developments have put us in a strong position to finalize guidelines for state opening," end quote. So I'll report back to you tomorrow once we learn what he said. He said that should be in the afternoon, so I should have that before tomorrow night. And finally, there's some good news on ventilators. So we've been hearing about the shortage of ventilators, and the US Department of Health and Human Services announced that it finalized contracts to produce mechanical ventilators with several companies. So combined with the existing contracts, they've committed to producing over 6,000 ventilators by May 8th, almost 30,000 more by June 1st, and 137,000 and change by the end of the year. So certainly they don't expect us to need all of those in use. The units will be allocated to that national stockpile that we've heard about, which will then just to them to support state level responses. And there's even been some talk about, us being able to support other countries and neighbors and allies, with any needs that they might have if we're not using those ventilators. Finally, President Trump showed a video at the White House briefing today showing General Motors. It was like a stop action video. It showed them standing up a facility from nothing to full production to produce its first ventilator in just 11 days. So if you've got an opportunity, it was a pretty cool video and definitely something worth checking out. Alexa?
Really cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Mel. So I see a couple comments on Facebook. They're like, is this a news update? Yes, it is partially a news update. That's why it's called the Home Service COVID-19 Evening Update. It's really just a summary of what's going on. And so if this isn't valuable to you, feel free to tune in around like this time if you don't want to hear that part. But I know so many people find it very valuable, including myself. So if you're just wondering what was going on in the beginning, you're like, I thought this was on marketing. It absolutely is. So this is the structure of our evening update.
Yep. Also, I probably caused some of that because I found a really cool new button that was available to me in the Facebook group, and it let me share across like 20 groups all at once. So there's probably people that are like, what the heck is this thing that Roland just posted? So always be exploring, but we'll cover that later.
Okay, let's blame it on Roland. So let's have Natalie come on now, and we will talk about, Natalie, can you start your video?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. So we are now going to go into the bulk part of this, which is marketing. So on Wednesdays, we like to do a workshop Wednesday. Our goal from this is that you take away at least one actionable thing you can go and do and implement into your marketing strategy, into your business strategy. So let's get right into it. If you know anything about Roland, Natalie, or myself, and if you don't know us, we love all things Facebook. I mean, our jobs consist of it. We are on Facebook all day, every day. So we are ready to spill our secrets on how to do a killer Facebook Live, the difference between your personal and business Facebook pages together. I've already seen a question on that. We're actually going to be doing a live audit of a few business Facebook pages. So just have your business Facebook page up in the queue and we might be able to review yours. And then after that, we're going to lay down the exact formula Roland uses to get so many likes and comments and gifts on his post. So that is our order of events for the day. And then Mel will be here as our consumer point of view, especially as we're doing the audit part and asking any questions that you guys have along the way. So let's go ahead and get started. First, Roland, can you talk about the difference between a personal Facebook page and a business Facebook page?
Yeah, so let's, maybe it's easier if I show you guys a little bit behind the scenes. I do it for myself personally, but then also we do it for the business. But as you can see, this is my personal Facebook page, and then these are the pages that I manage. So I have one for myself as an individual, but I also have a page with my name too that I can interact with. Similarly to, you can also do this with your page for your business. So you can control multiple things all from your Facebook feed, and you can kind of scroll in and out of different pages all from within your one Facebook page.
Cool. And then can you talk a little bit about the way you should use both your business Facebook page and your personal one? We have a lot of pros actually watching right now who are masters at this. If you were at the Lady Pro Mastermind in Dallas, I think it was Erin Jones, and also Cassie and Jen, they use their personal Facebook pages to promote their business Facebook pages because they themselves are their brand and people buy into you as a small business, as a person. So that's why you should use both of them.
Yep. Typically you want to have like two different personality types. One is like super personal and it's yourself. You're really authentic and you can kind of say more what you think and feel and use less professional voice. And then you've got your business page, which should represent, your core values, your mission, all the things you represent as a business. So typically when you have both of them, you can interact, you can kind of talk to yourself, and we'll talk a little bit why you might want to do this because it sounds a little crazy, but it drives engagement. And then also a lot of groups that are online on Facebook, so your local, maybe your local mom groups, your local school groups, they will only let in personal pages and they won't let in professional pages. So you'll need a brand to represent yourself there. Some pages will allow you to have both. I highly recommend if they do, get both in there as well, because you can set up keyword alerts and all kinds of fun things, so you can be notified when things happen.
Awesome. So now what we're going to do is kind of give you a behind the scenes look at a business Facebook page. And Natalie is actually going to walk us through that. Roland, can you please share your screen and go to Housecall's business page?
All right, let's do this here. Boom.
Awesome. So for most of you who have Facebook business pages, you probably are pretty familiar from what it looks like on your end. But there's a lot of power you have here when you are a business Facebook page opposed to a profile. And I would say just kind of where Roland's talking, you can see right there we have shop. So that's a place where you could link different things, gift cards or whatnot. You could pin photos before and after, would be really relevant for the trades. You have all of your videos, photos, and posts. And here it's really important to know that you can pin your post. So Roland, if you want to show them that blue little check mark or that blue little pin. Yep, so that allows you to pin the most important post to the top. So right now during coronavirus, it would be really smart to do a post about how your techs and your company are handling it and all of the safety precautions you've employed. So that would be a great place to pin that. Available right there is the boost option. So we're only going to see that boost. For this one, it's unavailable. Most of the time you'll have the boost option. And if you click that, you could go through a process to boost your post. And boosting your post basically means that you can pay some money to get a lot more people to see it. And without too much money, you could get a really large reach. But it's going to take some messing around just to figure out your audience. But that is definitely something that would be a whole other webinar on itself.
Yeah, typically when you're boosting things, you should be doing it for reach and brand and not necessarily for call to action. When you actually want to drive people to like a lead page or a lead form capture or a landing page, you want to make sure you're actually using the ads that are native to Facebook to go do that. That's a whole nother topic that we can get into later. But remember, when you're just boosting things, you can do it for a small amount for every single post to just up your numbers, because people really love social proof. And when they see lots of view counts, then they're more likely to click on it and view it themselves. So you can even spend things as low as $5 or $10 and get, a couple thousand views. And that makes it so that when someone that's a prospective customer of yours that's checking out your page to see if you're a legit business and they see that kind of engagement, they're much more likely to take you seriously. And it also stops people from, even price haggling and those things. When you have that really strong social proof, when you have those really good reviews, then you can command the prices that you want.
And a quick little hack on that end, if you're looking to get a lot of views or likes really cheaply, you could set your target audience for a country that's like in the Middle East or somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And by doing that, you'll be able to get an audience that no one else is paying for views. So they're not necessarily going to be your customers, but it could be a way for you to get, a few thousand views on a video that you posted or a few hundred likes on an important post.
Yep, and just remember too, if you do a Facebook like post, you want to make sure, so these are people liking your page, not just like a piece of content like Natalie mentioned, but if they're liking your page, you can also drive a lot of business likes that way. But remember that a lot of the advertising is based upon where people are liking your business from. So if you're not careful in the way that you're running ads, you'll have to make sure to exclude those regions, and you don't run ads without geolocation turned on. So if you do that, just be careful. But you can get a lot of cheap likes that way.
This question is for both of you, Roland and Natalie. Since you guys do a lot of experimenting about what works, what would you say is like the best type of post to boost? Obviously, you just said it's all about like your brand on these ones. So what's an example of something our pros can boost to just start off with?
I'd say typically things that are engaging is people like to see people above and all else. And then something that's been trending now for a while is, the before and after, or like the time lapse style stuff. So remember, when people are on Facebook, they're not actually looking for your business. They're just kind of scrolling. So you need to do something that either catches their eye. So humans catch their eye. And then obviously things that are kind of unique or sped up or just look different from other things around it. So whenever you're thinking about what is boost worthy, make sure that your content shows that. Make sure that that still frame, if it is like a live video, that you've got a good representation of what might be behind that once they engage with that piece of content, so it matches their expectations.
Yeah, and you can also see if you do a post and you realize, wow, this post is getting way more engagement than all my others, that's a good time to decide to boost a post. And it's a hard fact that video performs so much better than pictures do. So if you get a chance, and even if it's just a selfie video of you talking to your customers, that is a piece of content that's really going to do well, especially on Facebook.
Yeah, if you're going to decide like one thing to boost, Facebook will tell you when something is getting more engagement than normally is. When Facebook is telling you that, that's the time when to put the pedal to the metal and even throw $20 behind it, whatever. Just start experimenting with that, because Facebook already knows that it's a highly engaging post. So you're going to get a lot more bang for your advertising buck than you're trying to push some bland piece of content. And Facebook's like, why are you making me post this to all these people? Which is different than, this is something that's super engaging. I definitely want to spend some money, and Facebook doesn't mind getting this into places, and they know. That's why they're sending you that notification. So make sure you're paying attention to those little notifications that are coming through on Facebook, because when you see that, you got to act pretty fast, because there's what we call a lot of decay on things that happen with Facebook. We'll talk about that a little bit later, and how you avoid and combat decay on posts, on videos, on advertisement, those things. But you want to make sure that you always go fast. Facebook's very not forgiving if you sit there and wait.
Absolutely. And then from the customer side, Mel, I know that you are new to Facebook, but as a consumer, as a homeowner, what types of posts or ads would be the most appealing to you during this time?
Yeah, I think, in general, we've talked about advertising before, and things that just have a little bit of heart behind them right now are the things that I'm drawn to most. So like, even if it's an ad for something frivolous that has nothing to do with COVID, just if it's got some emojis and things around it that are just like, hey, for these tough times, like, here's, a new product or item or something to think about, or just sending a little positivity out to you with the before and after of some really cool project and, in home repair services. So it's the ones that seem like they're clued into what's going on. And right now, I think we're all looking for positivity, a little bit of wholesomeness, a little bit of humor, and lots of heart.
100% agree. And I think on that same note, another example of something that you could do, maybe you dropped off groceries on your route for an elderly couple, and you have a picture of yourself or one of your texts out on the route. Like, again, pictures, videos, boosting those are really great. Like Roland said, people like to see people. So putting any of the goodwill that you're doing and putting out into the world right now is clickable. I want to know local businesses in my area that are doing that. Everything that I've clicked on Facebook and on Instagram has to do with a local business doing something that they don't typically do for their community. Is there anything else on the Facebook page before we get into auditing? We decided we're gonna do 3. We're gonna do one from Facebook, one from the chat, and then Anna Rivera, who I was talking to earlier, and she's just been at every single one of our Facebook Lives. She messaged me earlier, and so we're gonna do hers too. She's a pro leader as well. So go ahead and put your linked Facebook page into the chat and into the Facebook thread, and Roland is gonna choose the one from Facebook, and Natalie is going to choose the random one from chat.
Ooh. All right, so I'm looking at Facebook right here. So the Facebook Live feed, boom, right here. So if you post your Facebook page in here, then we'll review that here. There's usually a little bit of a delay, so it sounds awkward and a little silent here. So I'm just watching and waiting for you guys here. In the meantime, if you want to, we can start with Anna's page if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead and pull up Anna's on your end.
All right, let's do that here.
So what we're gonna do now, guys, is we're just gonna do an audit. And the good thing about doing these real examples is it's probably very similar to what your Facebook page looks like. And all the functionalities are the same. So what we're gonna do right now is give you our perspective from the marketing perspective, what you're utilizing well, what you may not be utilizing, and some ideas for your page that you are all open to steal. And then Mel, of course, like on the customer end, what is sticking out to you as the homeowner. We have the marketer perspective, and Mel, you have the actual customer perspective.
All right, so maybe let's talk about initial impressions here.
Can I just say that she answered my question that I have when I'm going to every Facebook page these days when I'm looking up. I was just looking up 2 local businesses here that I had no idea if they were open. And that's all I wanted to know. And it took me a lot of scrolling to get that figured out. So I just changed it to like answer my most important question. And then it's got the nice little like, yeah, and being safe, like rest assured. But just, that is literally my number 1 question these days with all my local businesses when I'm visiting their Facebook page. Are you guys open? And then I want to know, like, when are they open? In the case of a service business, not so much as in the case of a restaurant who's doing takeout or something, but you'd be surprised how hard it is to get to a Facebook page and find if the business is currently open during COVID.
Yep, so step 1, Step one, follow what Mel said. Get this "Yes, we're open" banner up on your page right now. They've done a good job. They threw the logo here. Make sure you use your high-res logo, guys, because on my screen it looks a little fuzzy. So if you want to spruce it up, make it look even more professional, have everything be high-res. So make sure you're uploading the right resolution here in this banner. And then the post afterwards, we'll send this to everybody that attends this, what size you want that picture to be. But make sure you, like, this is just one thing. If you do anything from here, just go do this. This is like number one thing, very easy to do. Swap it in, it's great.
And also a note on this, I'm pretty sure that this is one of the postcards that we have in Housecall. You can just go screenshot it in there. Natalie also made, the week before, made a bunch of really great Canva templates for you to be using on social media, and you can totally go take those, add your logo. So all you have to do is search Canva templates in the housecallpro.com/coronavirus. If you click on resources, and like all you would have to do, you can have that exact same banner, just stick your logo on it, high res.
Yep, high res. What's good too is obviously she's doing both the send a message and book now buttons. So I'm gonna open this a new window here, but when you click this book now button, it'll actually take them to the online booking, Housecall Pro. It looks great. It's got some packages, some promotions right here, air conditioning.
Virtual appointments. I love that.
Virtual appointments right here, big. I don't know what's wrong with my AC.
I love that.
Great. And then some of these things too, this is really neat. Some of the deals here on the mini splits, some before and after on free estimates, you know, furnace. I really like just using text in the pictures too. It's really clear what to book here. It's directly from the page, so it makes it really easy to book. Obviously, I can send a message. Looks like she's set up to her chat bot. You can do this very easily in your Facebook page here. So if I wanted to come in here, you know, tell me more about your business, etc., you can set up all these saved and auto replies, and it's really nice. When you're doing this in your auto replies, have this number be a track number. So use something like CallRail. If you're using Housecall Pro, we integrate with CallRail, but then you can start tracking the efficiency of your chatbot. It's really easy to do and has no impact on any SEO. So this would be a good place to test that out across anything that's chatbot related.
Natalie, what are you picking up as we're scrolling through here?
I think it's good. I like how they have the about page all filled out. I like on that section on the right. A lot of times people forget about that. So having a picture there showing the faces behind the operation is really personable. And then I like how they have a really good description there. That's a piece that is forgotten a lot.
And
Yep.
it's not like an essay page long description. Like obviously your background and your company's history is super important, but what are customer, like think about how long you're taking to read things. So having it short and digestible like that is high impact.
Yep. One little quick tip on this one too, sorry, is if this thing starts to age, see how it says Tuesday, August 6, 2019, literally just add a period and delete a period and then resave it, and it'll reset this to be a more recent date. Super easy hack.
That's a good point.
I love the mention of their values and a little bit about them as people. You know, I mean, I don't know much about HVAC, so, but I know people. And so to see like, hey, look, we're parents, we've got 5 kids, we volunteer. I'm like, those are my people. You know, that makes me more likely. And I probably would know none of that when I first went to your Facebook page because someone referred me, you know, if my neighbor said, oh, I use the HVAC guys. I certainly wouldn't expect to get a husband and wife and a story about 5 kids and volunteering and family first. So I love that little personal touch. Makes a big difference.
Yep.
Can you click see more on the most recent post?
Yep, so we got a post here and we'll talk a little bit about this. Any single time you guys throw a URL in here, remember Facebook's in the business of keeping people in Facebook. And we'll go a little bit more deep in this tip, but never include the URL in these things if you want to get reach. If you don't mind not getting reach or you're boosting it to combat the decay that's caused by adding a URL in here, you can do that. But every single time you add a URL in here, sometimes it's better just to sneak it into the picture because then Facebook can't see it or penalize it in the same way that they would if there's a link in here that takes you off. So as soon as you go off the page, you obviously see the Facebook click ID. Facebook knows, guys, that you're leaving the site.
Great website. The pop-up, by the way. Another hack for that, and again, we'll go over this later, is don't put your link in the description, put your link in the comment, the first comment. So you guys probably see us doing that a lot when we're saying register for tonight's webinar. The link is in the comment and I'll stick it in the first comment.
Yep.
One thing I do notice here that's also unique is that they do have their facebook.com/the HVAC guys 19. So they have their custom URL, which is something you could set up, and that makes it really easy if someone wants to share your page. So that's something that all business owners should definitely be doing.
Mm-hmm. And then one more thing about the HVAC guys page, if you scroll down a little bit, Roland, to services. So keep scrolling. Yeah, here. So you have a picture. If you're going to have services listed on here, make sure that they're up to date. Make sure that the structure of them is similar. So when people are clicking see more, it's the same, like free estimate on new system doesn't have a description, but the dispatch fee does. And you have awesome pictures in your online booking that you can throw here as well. So just make sure everything is consistent across the board.
Yep, looks like they installed the constant contact mailing list in here. Obviously with these ones, I would typically say something a little more catchy around the call to action, which is get $50 off your service call or some reason, or get 10% off your new install or something, some reason for them to put in their email besides just get the latest news and offers. I don't want any more emails unless I can do something now. And you'll see around the web that if you go shopping anywhere in any e-commerce sites, the first thing that says like, hey, sign up your email, get 10% off. And I was like, okay, maybe if I'm going to go buy something, I'm going to want to use this 10% off discount code. So do that in here and use those same strategies when you're asking for someone's email address.
Also, Michelle has a question. How do you get that right side about area? So it should come on your business Facebook page. Again, guys, we're looking at the customer facing version. So the one that we showed you on the Housecall Pro side, that was what you will see on your business manager side. But if you don't see it there, there's going to be a settings at the top bar. All you have to do is click page settings and it will take you to all the things you can add there. So if you see like the photos, videos, all those items on the left-hand side, you actually have options to like take away some, add some, and the about section is in there. So you can set that up through your settings.
Yep. Let's take one more page here from Zoom over here, unless you guys still had one more thing to say about that one.
Nope. Let me move on to the next one. Natalie, you want to choose?
Yeah, I got one over here. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, can you see it? Finley Mechanical Heating and Air?
Yep. Yes.
Perfect. So this page, so I would say probably adopt the similar thing that Anna had done with HVAC guys. So putting that we're open and that you're employing the COVID-19 safety measures. In the posts here that are at the top, there isn't a picture. I would think my first thought would be to make sure that include a picture or video on your post. That way it makes it easily scannable. When people are on social media, they're scanning until something catches their eye and then they're going to read. So you want to get them in with that hook, that image, or that video.
Mm-hmm. But even for not having a picture, you have 34 likes and 4 shares on it. I don't know if it was a boosted post or not, but that's still really, really good.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And that's pretty consistent too. I was looking, if you scroll down, definitely a lot of engagement on the post, which is really nice to see. And then it looks like you're also commenting and replying to your comments on the post, which is really important to help boost engagement.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about why that's important a little more. And if you guys aren't doing that, that's another. So first thing is changing your header. And second thing, go through your recent posts. And if anyone has commented on it, go and respond to them. Even if it was something like Happy Easter, you could respond back with, I hope you had a great day with your family inside.
Yep. And one more thing. Oh, go ahead, Roland.
I would just say typically people don't care about your logo whatsoever. You care about your logo greatly. But when you go to the header here, I would just remove your logo altogether or just put it off to the corner. Also, people put like LLC, in all kinds of places. No one cares that it's LLC. Realistically, it makes it look maybe a little bit less professional. So I would say if you're going to do your main profile picture as your logo, that's kind of okay, maybe, but definitely not as your header, guys. Like that is so much screen real estate. You can use with something so much better because it doesn't inspire anything in me. I really don't care about it. It's better to show what services you have, show a picture of you. Remember, people love people. So that's definitely what I would do there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's a great point. Real
And
quick, Jamie, to
I love
the
the point about responding to the posts because, you know, I have been posting on some of the local businesses pages. Just, you know, I think we all have a little bit more time at the end of the day. There's only, you know, so much news I can take. So, you know, I've just been posting like, you know, hope everything's going well, and like just to one of their posts on some of my local businesses. And I'm so thrilled when someone just writes back like, thanks, same to you and your family, even though I don't know them, they don't know me, but I'm just engaging with a post that they made. So, I mean, it really does feel special. It's there. Lots of times your comments just go unreplied from the business itself. They maybe get other comments from other people, but getting a reply back from the business, I mean, does matter to me.
Totally.
Yeah, that's a really great point, and I would definitely say it's important to do that on reviews too. So you can see right here on the left bar, it looks like Finley has a lot of reviews, but he's only responded to one here. So making sure that you respond to each and every one of these, give them a like and give them a comment is really important. Going back to Mel said, it makes someone really feel appreciated and thanked when you take the time to respond to their review or their comment.
Mhm. And on the same note, we actually have a guest next week, and it's going to be all on reviews during the coronavirus. So we can get their take too on responding to these older ones. What's the best way to ask for reviews right now? So that's a little taste of what you have to expect for next week.
Awesome. Anything else you guys wanted to go over?
I love that picture of Gary right there. He has a few. So actually, Gary, what I would do, since it looks like you're very good at taking pictures on the job, is you, like, when the coronavirus is over, I love seeing pictures of you, your team out in the field on your header image. So don't feel afraid to put those on there. And let's see. Yeah, so adding the about section on here. And then,
I think that would be most of my edits. I would say he doesn't have the little about on the right here yet, but the picture. Most of the stuff is in here, which is good. He also has the book now at the top, so that's really important to help turn a viewer into booker. And he also had the chat pop up, which are all really good things.
Can you click see all in post, Natalie? Because I was seeing some posts from like 2018. I want to see how often Gary is posting. We can give some tips around there.
Yeah, it looks like he posted here to address the coronavirus, which is really good. But it looks like before that, it had been almost 2 months before the last post. So, and then back in November. So I definitely think that consistent posting would be really helpful, especially since you're already getting a lot of engagement. You definitely reach a larger audience.
Things like organic engagement too. And if you are worried about the time that it's going to take, you can schedule like an hour in your week to schedule out future posts for like the next 2 weeks, the next month. You probably have all these past videos and pictures like that. You can just set time aside for yourself to do this, or one of your office staff, or maybe even your techs that you have now cut their hours and you're looking for more work for them to do. This is a great example.
Absolutely.
And then we'll do one more roll and choose from our Facebook thread.
Let's look at Facebook here. Let's see.
And Gary, while Roland is choosing, Gary says, "Thank you guys. I'm old school and tech stuff is not my big suit. I can fix anything that keeps you hot or cold, LOL." I feel like that's the sentiment of a lot of our viewers here. And that's why we're here. We're here as your sounding board to make this stuff less scary. Really anyone can do it. And so our goal is to equip you with the knowledge and the actionable steps to go and do this yourself.
Yep, because since so many people are thinking the exact same way who work in the trades, if you do this, you're going to be way ahead of all of your competition.
Yep, that's the whole purpose of this.
All right, so here we go. This is Cameron's page, Pure Light.
Love that
Cleaning
photo.
specialist. So this is awesome. This is like, I would just say take this photo, Cameron, and put "we are open" and throw COVID over this. Like, just do that. Use this exact same picture. Perfect right now. And then later on, obviously you can switch it back to this one, but this is great. It's family run, you and your wife, and then your employees. Super cool. Obviously you've done a really good job here. Getting people to recommend you, 66. That's definitely a great job. I've also see that you invited me to like your page. So this is something really important, you guys. Obviously, when you create your personal page, and you've got your business page, you can use your personal page to promote your business page, and you can invite all of your friends to go like it. Obviously, if you got a lot of friends, you can get a lot of likes very easily that way. So I'm going to go ahead and give Cameron this like right here. Likes don't really do too much besides just the social proof side of things, or if you're running advertisement to people that like things that you posted. So I would say if you have any deals or things like that that you're running, you can use some tricks there to get people to, hey, if you like this post, we'll give you a coupon, and then you can advertise to them afterwards more stuff down the road. I'd say on the photo side of things,
that was today.
Yeah.
Earlier this week.
Earlier this week.
So it looks like Cameron.
Like
yeah, the kids.
Before and after.
Great.
Yeah, the word for this, by the way, it's that trends is called clean porn. And it's because there's something that's like super, super dirty and then super, super clean. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And you're so attracted to these images. And then things like this that do really well are time lapses of something getting clean. And people don't know what it is, but it's just like, it drives engagement and true views through the roof.
And I like the ones too that sometimes have the words on top that it says clearly, like before, after, because every once in a while I'm not sure what I'm looking at, and then as soon as I tune in, oh, this is a before and after, and then you look real close and you can see all the detail. So putting that on top of photos can help us know what we're looking at.
Yep, he's got some good videos here. I would just say, Cameron, literally just spend like $10 on each one of these videos and just go boost them, even if they're maybe not that one because it's 5 years old, but so some of these older ones you're gonna want to, I would say these like 2 weeks ago, 22, like some of these recent ones, just go boost them because it looks much cooler and it's super cheap to do it.
And another good thing I see here with Cameron with his videos, first of all, that's not something I see on a lot of pros pages. So my challenge for you, if you haven't done a video this week, try to do a video this week. You probably have something in your phone already, like a before and after video. But I want to talk about the length of it. His videos are short and digestible. So some I see are like 30 seconds to like 3 minutes, 30 seconds, which I would say is like the threshold for uploading a video. A live is different. And we're going to go into that after, but keep in mind the length of your video. If you're uploading those, shorter, the better.
Yep. You can see him doing live here from a customer's home. This is like a great idea, obviously get their permission, but when you go live and you just talk about what you're doing, a lot of people say, hey, Roland, I don't know. You always seem to know what you're talking about when you're live. Like, how do you know what to say and how are you saying what you're saying? Really, I'm just babbling and just talking, but it should be no different for you because it should just be really natural. And the easiest thing is, most of you guys, after you complete your work, you do a customer walkthrough. What you can do is you can go live and pretend that you're doing a customer walkthrough before you even show your customer. So you can use this as time to A, practice, and B, create this easy marketing material that you can just prop up right on your live. So just pretend like you're literally talking to the customer and just walk through the job that you just did. And that's just what he did right here. It's great. You can see he's got a good amount of engagement and views through there too.
Totally. Yeah, the only thing I guess I haven't seen from Cameron yet is I don't see anything COVID related. This is all like pre-COVID, or even while it's during COVID, you're posting just regular before and afters, which again is great. But there needs to be some type of announcement on here about the precautions that you're taking. Cool. So that was kind of like your live Facebook audit. Hopefully a lot of your Facebook pages look like that. And even if they don't, that was helpful to understand what parts should be used, what's the most important, and just tips around each. Someone asked, where can we get the COVID pictures from? So they're in our blog. Natalie and I will find that blog post before the end of this webinar. And if you are a Housecall Pro user, then they're already in your postcards. So you can just go take a screenshot of it. And
if you just go to the housecallpro.com/resource or housecallpro.com/coronavirus, there's a resources button. And then I think that it's pretty easy to just scroll through too, and you can easily find it.
There we go.
We'll definitely post it, but yeah.
Much easier. And also while you're there too, you'll see all the other resources.
Yep.
So on to, I know this is a little bit of a long one, but I hope you guys are getting value out of it. The next two things we're going to be talking about, they're going to be how to do an amazing Facebook Live. We're going to talk about what you should be doing before, during, and after. And then we're going to give you Roland's secret sauce and all of our secret sauce kind of for creating really good, engaging Facebook posts. So Mel will be here answering any questions that she can in the Q&A, and she'll be back to ask us your questions live. Okay. So let me get situated really quick. Okay. So like I said, we're going to talk about how to do a killer Facebook Live. We're going to be posting the help article from today. It's not a help article, it's a blog post. At the top of it, it includes how to do a trial run of a Facebook Live, where the going live button is, like all the mechanics of it, but we didn't want to waste time doing that. We really just wanted to tell you how to do a good one. So we'll post the link to there before we end this webinar. And so first we're going to talk about what to do before going live. Natalie, start us off.
Yep. Well, before we even do that, I do want to say why it's all important to go live, because we're going to go in this long thing about how to do all of it. But I do want to say that going live versus posting a regular video, Roland, why would you recommend maybe one of our pros to go live instead of just posting the video?
He's eating.
It's just more engaging. Yeah, I'd say it's just more engaging, and because it's live, you can interact, and you can rack up a ton more comments, a ton more likes than you could on any normal video posting.
Yep, that's a really good point. So we do all of these videos live for YouTube instead of just posting them on YouTube and then sending you the link.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that the first thing you want to do is tell your customers when you're going live. So maybe earlier that day, you want to make a little post saying that I'm going to go live tonight at 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. to give you five cleaning tips for your carpet or something like that. So you let them know that you're going live. You end it with an engaging question and say, like, post a GIF if you're going to attend. You'll see Roland, Alexa, and I do that a lot before we go live. That will help the post be boosted. And then if you're going to talk about something educational, let people ask questions beforehand. So if you are going to be doing an educational post, if you end it with, like, let me know what you want me to cover, this will give the customer the opportunity to feel more involved in the live and be more likely to attend when you do go live. So step one, tell them when you're going to go live.
Okay, and then step two, don't go live without a good reason. So it's really easy to go live and be like, here's what's on my mind right now. But unless it's something really, really good, I wouldn't suggest doing that, because it doesn't give you the opportunity to, like, set it up correctly, make sure you're in good lighting, which we'll talk about. But wait for a reason to go live, like showing off a big job or a great educational idea, and make sure it's entertaining. So a good rule of thumb is not to go live unless you'd watch it yourself. That's actually the rule of thumb we do with all types of posts, whether that's on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You'll hear us talk about that a lot during these workshop Wednesdays. So an example of a good reason to go live right now, let's say you're a cleaning company and you want to go live about the top 5 cleaning supplies that all of your customers should have at home during the coronavirus. That would be an amazing reason to go live. That would also be a good one to boost.
Anytime you provide value, and that's obviously valuable to people. Same reason why we do these things. We're hopefully providing value to you guys, which causes engagement.
And Roland, what's number 3?
Number 3, all right, so you gotta make sure that you have good descriptions that are catchy, and at some point include a call to action. So obviously you're gonna give some value, and then you're gonna ask them to do something. Now, sometimes you can, in the title or the description of the post, you can put the call to action there, but you can also put the call to action in the live video, in the live video itself. So for example, everyone, well, we've got a lot of people here watching on Zoom. We've got about 30 or so people watching here on Facebook Live. But if you're watching on Facebook Live, go ahead and use the like button or the heart button right now. So what I want you guys to do, as soon as you hear me say this, just use, click the like button or the heart button right now, and do it probably like 10 or 20 times. And I'm gonna wait until people do this. And what you'll see here, that's my call to action. I'm doing it in the middle of my live. But what's happening is it's going to start to drive Facebook engagement metrics, because Facebook is looking at, hey, how do I get more people cool things to watch and to do on Facebook? Oh, we got some angry faces. See, angry faces also, by the way, guys, are good, because if you get angry faces, that means that something's polar, and Facebook loves things that are very polarizing. So I see a lot of likes and a lot of hearts. And so what's going to happen is Facebook now is going to know to send this out to other people to say, hey, Housecall Pro is live. Go watch their thing. So you can see here now a lot of people now just joined. Tim, Tom, Tim Guyman just joined. Fast Freddy. Yeah, so what's great is it works. So that is a call to action that you can do also when you're live, during a live. Wow, that was very meta of me.
That's so meta. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the next one, I decided I wanted to talk about this because if you've been watching from the beginning, it's that sometimes going live, there's some hiccups in your mechanics. So step number 4 before you go live, double check all of your mechanics. So I have an extra step because I cast from Zoom into Facebook, but if you are doing a Facebook Live, they should be like very natural and in the moment, but that doesn't mean they should be any less produced, or you should you should forego the quality of it. People still want to watch good videos. So for instance, make sure you're in a quiet place away from distractions. Make sure you're filming horizontally so that your picture fills the whole screen, and make sure you have a good connection, which at Housecall is really a hit or miss with us. So you guys have been with us through these struggles. And make sure you're filming with the light on you so people can see you. So you'll notice all of us right now, besides Natalie, but Roland and I are practicing what we preach. And the light is facing towards us.
I'm in the light. It's not dark where I am.
You look like you're in a dungeon.
You can cheat a little bit too. This thing's called a Loom Cube, and it lights up. And so when it lights up, you can see it lights up the face, and you can do different like filters on it too. So there's all kinds of cool professional gear that you can kind of buy that's super cheap. Like I think this was, I don't know, like $40, $30. If you're doing a lot of these and you're in a dark place, it really lights up your face. And you can also make really scary faces too, which makes it fun for people to watch.
Yeah, Roland likes to hold it up like this, but I want to talk about one point in there is holding it horizontal. So you can't, I'll get closer, you can see my phone. This is my cat, by the way. It's a sticker of her. So before you go live, so I have it, we're live here. Before you press start, it is important that you are already horizontal when you press start. It will not flip horizontal if you start the live vertically. It will not start that way. So, or it will not flip horizontally. So make sure you start with it like this. You'll get all the options at the bottom. It doesn't matter if you're on Android or on iPhone. That was like Inception. That was very meta of me.
I like it.
And then Roland, what's the next one?
What is the next one here? Oh, you should think about doing this both on Facebook and Instagram. Once you feel like you're comfortable with going live, obviously you can link your Facebook page to your Instagram page. Obviously Facebook owns Instagram, in case you guys didn't know. And you want to make sure that, the content that you create, you can often share both ways. So you can go live on Instagram and then make that go live on your Facebook page and vice versa. And then alternatively too, you can double up with things like Zoom. Zoom, you can go live on Facebook and YouTube and all kinds of other places. So you can really get that exposure out there. But it's pretty easy to set up those options to either double post, double go live. And you can use really both platforms to do it.
Yeah, you can connect the two together. So we connected it through Instagram. It's just a little bit easier that way on your phone. Maybe we'll post some screenshots of how to do it, but it's super simple to connect the two. And so you'll notice if you follow Housecall on Instagram, which you should. Also lady.pros on Instagram, you should also follow that too. We have it connected so that any stories that we make or any posts that we do automatically go onto our Facebook page. So you can connect your business Facebook page that we just went over. So if you prefer to be on Instagram, you're like doubling up there. So we absolutely recommend that. And so we've just talked about what you have to do before you go live, setting yourself up, making sure your customers know that you're going live, your mechanics are all good. So now we're going to talk about what to do during your broadcast.
Yep, so the first thing you want to do is acknowledge your audience. So tell them hi, say hello. The whole point of the live video is that you are in it with them and you're there to engage. So you want to be personal, interact with them. So once you start the live, you don't want to just dive into your topic right away. You want to give your viewers a few minutes to let them come on, say hello. It'll take a few minutes. Facebook's going to notify them. letting them know that you're live. So you want to give them a chance to join before you start. And then encourage them to leave comments. Roland just showed you how valuable that little like button is. So tell them to throw you a heart or a like to help boost the post. And then ask them to ask you any questions that they might have.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I would say a really easy thing to do. So obviously we just did that like exercise with the like and the heart. So we're at about 20 viewers and now we're back at 32.
Mm-hmm.
So what Facebook does is when you first start your stream, Facebook looks and sees, okay, for the people that just joined, are they sticking around? Because if they're not, then Facebook won't promote you to the next tier. So if you think about it, it's like a waterfall and you got to make sure that the first people that join, they stick around. So an easy way to do this is ask them, where are they from? Hey, where are you tuning in from? If you want to get even easier than that, just say, hey, and their name. Hey, and their name. If you want to get them to post, which also shows engagement, you can also do something like, hey, how are you guys doing? So for example, all of you guys right now that are watching on Facebook, can you guys give me an emoji with how you're feeling? So go ahead and write in that comment there an emoji with how you're feeling right now. And if you post that emoji, I'll start first. This is the example. To start posting your emoji and how you feel. This will help drive more engagement because Facebook will be like, hey, people are actually talking. And Facebook doesn't care what it is. Obviously, they want a little bit longer form content, but emojis and GIFs are super helpful for this.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, and starting off with it, before Natalie goes on to the next point, you'll notice that we always start off with a question, whether we're on Zoom or on Facebook Live, because it can be anything like, tell us where you're tuning in from. That's a very basic, simple one, but it can also be on like the topic of your live. Going back to my cleaning example, if you're going live about that, you can ask your customers, what's the one thing that you keep running out of? One cleaning supply that you keep running out of in your house right now. Just make sure you get creative with it. I like to write down the questions beforehand so I don't forget, because when I do that, it boosts all of our lives on Facebook.
Yeah, I feel like these are typically the bonus questions that your teacher would put on the test in grade school because they wanted to be nice and give you extra credit. So there are things that anybody can answer.
Totally.
Yep. Okay, and then I would say that the next point is that you're going to want to go live for at least 10 minutes. So especially if it's your first time, you might get a little bit nervous and you might want to end it quickly, but just slow yourself down, take a deep breath, and you want to make sure that you're on for at least 10 minutes because live feeds are more effective for longer material. So Facebook is going to like that you're spending a little bit more time on the live. So the max is actually 4 hours. You definitely don't need to go that long, but you definitely want to pass that 10-minute threshold. That way that people who want to tune in and get a lot of value out of the stream, that video will be more discoverable for them and for the audience.
Yeah, anything under 10 minutes, just upload as a video itself.
Yep.
Good feedback. All right, so next tip. This is tip number 8. Provide context throughout. So obviously people are going to be joining in and then tuning out and joining in, tuning out. They are in their own real life. It's not fair for you to expect everybody to sit there and listen to you go on for however long it is, unless there's a ton of value for them. So what that means is as people join in and join out, if they don't know what's going on because maybe you didn't put the right topic or heading, it's always good to repeat yourself a little bit. So that way they can get pulled into it too, and they don't feel like they're kind of alienated and they tuned in to like, season 3, episode 5 of Ozark, and they're like, what the fuck is going on over here, guys? And you're just like, I don't like this show, and you go out. So make sure you kind of give them context so they understand what they're tuning into, so they don't feel like, all right, now it's just time to leave and maybe I'll just watch it from start. Sometimes even you can reintroduce yourself in the middle of the video, but typically once you build that base, you don't necessarily have to do that anymore because hopefully they'll know you by then. But anything to just catch everybody up. It's really simple just to say, hey, and so just so you guys know that are joining a little late, we just covered this, and this, and we're gonna be talking about this, and this. And that way you're always providing kind of that roadmap or that table of contents throughout every single video you do.
So for those of you who just joined us on Facebook, we're currently talking about all of our tips that we use to go live on Facebook and to have an awesome Facebook Live for those of you who just tuned in. And then step number 9, this is super simple. Smile. It might feel fake to you sometimes, but you know, the thing is, like, if you're smiling, you actually just start smiling and you're in a better mood. Your audience will respond to a friendly face. So when you're speaking, obviously it's a little harder to keep smiling. You'll see us be more serious during it too. But at least when you're starting off your live, make sure you're smiling, make sure you're welcoming people into the live, because I'm not going to click on someone who's like staring at me like this, just waiting for people to join. So I have to remind myself of that too. So this is where the test broadcast can come in. It's not natural to smile on camera, so you can always practice.
Yep. And also just know that the screen cap that Facebook's going to take to promote in the feed is going to happen at some random time kind of in the beginning. So if you start off the video like picking your nose or do something funny, you know, like remember that's going to get screen capped and be used as the thing that Facebook's going to use to go promote it to everybody else.
Yeah, Alexa and I have made that mistake many times where it says like uploading to Facebook, and we think we're not there yet, but we actually are, and we're having a total sidebar about something completely different. So yeah, be mindful of that.
Yes. And then Natalie, what's step number 10?
So the next thing you want to be mindful of are your filler words. So we are all guilty of this, but using words like and like and all of those, they're very natural when we are nervous to talk about something, and they can take up a lot of space and can make you seem less professional. So it's something that you'll have to practice. You're likely going to say a lot of those words on your first live, but the more lives that you do, it'll come more natural and be a lot easier for you to keep going forward.
Mm-hmm. It's something that's so hard, especially when you get nervous. But
especially when you're reading about that and trying not to say at the same time.
And then you say
Yeah, and then I'm like
No, okay. So the last step obviously is 11. Give an actual sign off. So at the end of whatever you say, you're live. Leave someone with one thing that they need to do next. Make it super, super clear what that one thing is. This way, you can drive everyone to that one action. If you say too many things, people are like, I don't know where to go next. And they go squirrel, and then life takes over and they go somewhere else. So if you just make one thing that they need to do afterwards, that's usually the best way to drive people to either book, to buy, to share, to do something, so that you get the intended result of what you went live in the first place for.
Totally. So that is what you're doing while you're going live. And then just 2 quick things after you go live.
Yep. So respond to your comments. You guys see me, you're probably like, see, I said, see, now I'm like totally thinking about it.
And now we're just going to think about it the entire time, and then we're going to say it more.
Yeah. So as we are on Zoom going live, I've got Facebook pulled up. So does Natalie, so does Lexa, and we're interacting in real time. Sometimes it's nice to have 2 phones, and you can use both. You can interact with yourself, interact with people that are watching. You can do likes, you can do hearts. This shows Facebook that you're super engaged, but also to people that might be too shy, it shows that you're willing to interact with them. Mm-hmm. And everything is about being real and authentic. And so when you're commenting also after you're even done with it, then people feel like you go through all the comments. So they're more likely to leave comments for you in the future, which helps drive more engagement, which is great.
And a little hack on that. So we always encourage all employees of Housecall to watch our evening update. We encourage them to watch our lives that we do in the Facebook group. And so it's nice to have a second pair of eyes in there. So if people are commenting on your stuff, if they are asking you questions, you have another person in there, because with Facebook, like Roland said, there is a lag. So sometimes that's why we're like waiting, but it's because people haven't seen it yet. So having an extra pair of eyes in there could be very helpful to you. And then finally, if you have the time, definitely go back and watch your live video. We do sometimes we're like, oh, that was so cringy, but watching yourself, it can be uncomfortable, but it's really an opportunity to see what you can improve on, such as those filler words, whether you're smiling or not, and if people are asking questions that you're missing. So for me, I try to rewatch them, but sometimes I'm like, I can't do it anymore. But that's when it comes in like, oh, I was not smiling for 20 minutes during this instructional Facebook Live. And just the last thing, like, remember to have fun with it. Your customers are watching you. They use you because you're a small business. You are a person. You are not a corporation. No matter if it's just you or you have 50 employees, make it fun, make it you. Don't feel like because you've seen one of your competitors doing live, it has to be the same exact thing. Like, that is probably the worst thing you can do. They're watching you because they've bought into you, your brand, and your story.
All good points.
So, and we know this is going a little bit long, but we still have the same amount of viewers. So we're just going to go quickly into Roland's secret sauce formula. Maybe Roland, just to give everyone an idea, if they haven't seen your post, share one of your most recent ones, or whatever one you want to share, just to have a visual.
Yeah. Here's a couple of them. So obviously, here's one that I did back in February, and this is an example of a video post that I made, and we'll go into why and how I did this. But you can see that I'm starting to ask questions, and then there's a reward, and then also there's a native video in here. So I'm not resharing a YouTube link, I'm uploading a video directly to Facebook in order to do this. Here's another example. So what I'm showing you guys, obviously, pros are our customers here at Housecall Pro. So I interact in a lot of other Facebook groups that aren't our own as well to attract people. And you can see here, this is a post that I did, which did fairly well here, which is a survey about lead gen and advertising platforms. So you can see here, I listed some, which ones are your top. And hey, if you want to link to the full report, just write, I want the report. We're going to break down all these different things that we've done. But you can see here, 418 comments, lots and lots of engagement. And the most recent one was this one, which was the championship, where we were getting reviewed. So that way we could get the most reviews in a certain amount of time and we could win. But you can see here that we won. We beat out 128 other companies to win that. But you can see the different components that we're going to talk about here in a second for what things you need to include to make a winning and engaging post.
So those are some examples, and your goals to get, so when I asked the question, like, yes, I have a Facebook page, I'm amazing at using it, I'm basically an influencer, that's like Roland level. So that is all of your, I'm starting to get there. I'm really trying. But our goal is to have all of you be influencers in your space. So we're going to go through Roland's formula for creating a post like that.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just pull this one up here, and you want to walk through it, and then the different pieces that you see here that make up a good post.
So I know that this is like a topic of like there's two different sides of it. We have pros who absolutely love emojis and pros who are like, I do not want to use that at all. However you feel about it, the majority of people like seeing these, especially when they're relevant and fun, and also they're attention grabbing. So even if you don't like them, you're still noticing them because you're like, oh, I don't like that. So that's the first thing Roland does. On all of his posts, you'll notice that he starts off with relevant emojis. They're attention grabbers. So this is a Roland tip that he's going to teach you right now.
Yeah, so there's this Rocket app here. Let's see here. Why are they not popping up here? Here we go. So if you go to this URL here, there's a lot of ways, by the way, guys. There's a lot of ways to add emojis to post. This is the one that I like the most because it's emoji shorthand. So if you want this link here, this is matthewpalmer.net/rocket, and it lets you literally type in things like rocket, or hold on, I'm going to show you guys a quick example here. If we go into, let's go make a new Facebook post real quick. So if I wanted to add an emoji, I would say rocket. Whoop. Of course, it doesn't work now. Oh, it's because I'm sharing. Son of a gun. So what it does is, as you're typing, you do colon, and then you can type like smiley face or rocket face. And it should start to populate. Oh, come on, Rocket. Why are you not doing this right now? But Rocket is what you want to use. There's lots of ways to add emojis to it. And obviously that's what worked right here. And these are the relevant ones.
And then Natalie, what's the next thing in Roland's formula?
So the next thing is that he's going to want to use different fonts when he's posting. And then after, he's also going to want to use his emojis, and then also start with an attention grabber.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So first thing you can see, we made a review shop, see below. A lot of times Facebook will truncate beyond a certain amount of character limits. There will be a read more. So you want to entice people to read more. You don't want to give away all the goods in the first sentence. So you want to promote curiosity and engagement. So figure out a way to do it. One thing that seems to work really well too is that, obviously as posts degrade over time, you want to edit them and keep them fresh. So Facebook knows that the original author, so OP, original poster, is interacting with their thread. So you'll see here, edit. I'll be updating this as time goes on. And then also even provide a status. So this actually had a whole different paragraph here as we're actually doing it. And then here, for example, we just put some previewing rules. But as you can see, as I'm typing here, you can change the heading status. You can change it from bold. You can do pull quotes. You can make things look interesting. So that way in the feed for people, it looks different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and 99% of people do not do that. So if you are able to make your post look like this, it's going to be so much more engaging in the feed.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not that hard to do either.
But a thing to note about this is that it's not available to everyone. I am the only one out of this group here who does not have access to this, but I'm the one who's on Facebook all the time. So what I do instead is I focus more on the emojis, and then Roland's next tip in his formula, you can see on here, is segmenting things out. Make sure all of your sentences are indented and spaced. No one likes seeing a big clump of words because it's a lot to get through, especially when you're scrolling on your phone, because that's where the majority of your people are going to be looking at this. So you can see he's indenting. So for me, I use a lot of emojis. I indent, and even if it's a longer post, a more serious post, like I'm trying to think, like a bigger announcement, you can still break those up into bite-sized pieces so your customers can see what's important on there.
Yep. So here you'll see this little emoji here with a little halo around. You get this by putting in feeling and activity. And then also I tagged Natalie and Alexa here. So I'm adding people to here. So obviously all the things that you see below here on any Facebook post, the more that you do and the more interesting that you make it, and don't do the same on every single one, but the more variety here, you're really engaging and being thoughtful with your post, makes Facebook think, oh, wow, this must be really good content, because it's so much easier just to upload one picture and call it quits than it is to actually construct a good post. And so Facebook will start your initial ranking in your Facebook algorithm much higher than someone that just does a little bit of work. Pictures are great. Never link pictures from other sites. Upload them directly to Facebook. When you upload them directly to Facebook, Facebook technically owns them. That's how their terms of service works. And Facebook wants to keep people inside the Facebook platform. So doing that and even updating it as posts go along is going to get you a lot of Facebook algorithm posts.
And you guys will notice, we very rarely, I actually do not, I can't think of any posts that we do not have an associated picture with it, a video, or we've done one of those GIFs. That's my favorite thing to do when making an announcement. Maybe Roland, if you click on, let's just do a new one, a new post. Click on write something, and then click GIF. So whatever your post is about, whatever the main topic is about, Facebook is constantly uploading new GIFs on here, and GIFs are the new currency. Before it was a picture's worth 1,000 words in a video. In this day and age, it's GIFs. So if you are not on the GIF train, hop on it, because these are so fun, and all of your customers will be using them. So that if you don't have a picture or a video, try using a GIF. Maybe it's a carpet cleaning GIF. Maybe it is a cleaning GIF, something like that. So I just wanted to show you where that was. And then, Natalie, what is one of our last items in the secret sauce formula for engagement?
I would say the last and arguably one of the most important is to always include a CTA. So CTA is a call to action, and so that is enticing all of the people who viewed your post to do something about it. So Roland will oftentimes ask for you to comment a GIF, or to comment with the certain words, or to comment a picture or a screenshot. There's a ton of different call to actions you can do, and it's really important that you choose at least one, and you want to include it at the end of your post. And what that's going to do is really help to boost your engagement. The more people that are going to comment on it, the more Facebook is going to show it to even more people. And it is, I think, one of the finishing acts to the secret sauce.
All right, so here we go. Let's try that one.
Thanks, Roland. You should go edit that one.
Post your favorite gift below.
And since you're using, since you and your commenters will be using things that are in Facebook to post, they're going to keep boosting that. So when you guys are thinking about what to post, think about things that Facebook is providing to you, because they're going to want to feature those things most. And it's a super easy way to get engagement. You'll see one of the past posts, Roland was welcoming a group into the coronavirus, or welcoming new members into the coronavirus group. And all he said was like, post a thumbs up or a thumbs down emoji for how your business is doing right now. Like, that's super easy to do. So think about things like that. And then the last thing is like, just make it sound like you. You'll notice that when Roland posts, like, it sounds like him. When I post, it sounds like me. I'm not trying to be someone I'm not trying to be too formal, because I think that's what my customers want. Obviously avoid profanity, and you can still like make it fun and make it you without doing that, keeping it professional in that way. And just remember that this will not happen overnight. You need to start doing it in order to start seeing results. So you also need to be engaging on other people's posts. You need to be posting consistently. And over time, you will gain more customer interaction and engagement, because they're looking forward to the stuff that you're posting and the lives that you're doing. Whew. So we know that was a lot, but hopefully it was valuable to you guys. We're going to go into some Q&As right now. We'll bring Mel back on to ask us the Q&As. We'll go through a few, and then we'll answer the rest through text.
I had one cue from some of the questions I was answering. Roland, you might have an idea for people that have a logo, but maybe their logo is horizontal and it never fits in a box. Like, if someone wants to get multiple logos, do you have resources or, online design places that you would go to if someone wanted to price out getting their logo reworked into a couple of different formats if it keeps getting in their way how they've got it?
Yeah, sure. If you want to have someone help you with your logo, there's a couple places that I recommend. The first place that I recommend is a place called Fiverr. So it's Fiverr with 2 R's. Wait, is it 2 R's or 3 R's?
Two. It's F-I-V-E-R.
I thought it was 2 V's, no R, no E.
No, it's Fiverr.
Yeah.
So it's fiverr.com. And there, if you search logo or logo design, it's super, super easy. There will be someone there revamp it, or you can get another one. Just be careful for the really cheap ones, because sometimes they're using stock art or they're ripping someone else's off. So it might not be original, and then you might get a letter down the road. If you want to get something a little more professional, take a look at something like 99 Designs or Logo Tournament. That's where you can post a bounty, and you'll have multiple designers submit all kinds of different ideas. And then you can have them work on revisions. So you can kind of pick from the best and get a lot of ideas. So that is 99 Designs and Logo Tournament are great places. And then ultimately, I would say in any area you are, there's probably some local designers that can help you. So kind of support local, find someone there. They'll probably know what you're looking for. I bet you a logo designer in San Diego's got a way different mindset than a logo designer in New York. And obviously connecting with where you are is a big part of why you want to have a good logo. And then my last shout out will go to Dan Antonelli of KickCharge. So they do amazing logos and amazing branding work. Also Ryan Kettering as well from Prolific Designs. Those are 2 great other resources. They will do truck wraps, logo design, all kinds of stuff. But make sure whatever you do, ask your logo designer to get your logo in vector format. So vector format means that your vector format. Boom.
I feel like you're setting me up. I'm going to ask for my logo in vector format, and they're all just going to laugh at me. What does that mean?
Yeah, vector format allows your logo to be blown up the size of a billboard. So vector, what vector means is your logo is a set of equations to the computer, so you can make it as big or as small. And then something like a JPEG or a GIF or a PNG, if they're not big enough, then what ends up happening is you start to see those fuzzy pixels. And so you'll see that from time to time on logos, and you're like, oh, it's kind of hard to read. So you want it, and that's called raster. So you don't want a raster image, you want a vector image. Those typically come in the form of a .ai or .eps file. So those are the ones that you really want. And if you don't have those, make sure you get them.
That's great advice.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Okay, let's go for a couple more questions, Mel. What do you
Yeah,
think?
what was the URL for emojis again? That was asked.
Mhm.
I will post that here.
Make sure you're posting to everyone, not just panelists.
Mhm.
Oops, hold on. I broke my own rule. Oh, there we go. Bam. Obviously that's for the Mac. If you've got a PC, there's lots of things. This is not the only way to do emojis, guys. This is just the way that I know how to do it the fastest, because we use another software called Slack. And so there's a shorthand for all these emojis. So once you learn them, you can go real quick, and you can just type them all out without having to slow down or use your phone.
And then another question was about Instagram versus Facebook. So I know this topic tonight was Facebook, but what should our pros be thinking about which to use when, or is Facebook the one that should be the primary? What's the story?
Well,
No.
they're both owned. So Facebook owns Instagram, so that's an important distinction to make, which makes it really easy for you to do one post and syndicate it out to both platforms. So if you're going to do a post, make sure you have your Facebook and Instagram connected. And then once they're connected, when you do a post on Facebook, it's going to give you the option to also post on Instagram. So that's a really easy way to spend less time creating content and reuse the content that you already have.
Mm-hmm. And then before I forget, from the beginning, and then we got asked again in the chat, how do we get these cool backgrounds? So this is if you're using Zoom. I maybe have a feeling, because a lot of people are using Zoom for like family gatherings and also to meet with your employees. We personally like to use Zoom backgrounds to mess with each other. It's super fun. But you do have to have an updated version of Zoom, and your computer has to be able to handle it. Like right now, Roland is on a MacBook Pro, I am on a MacBook Pro, and our computers can handle it. But and same with Nat, I think. But
Yeah.
if you're on an Air, if you're
Well,
on an
I'm just not using
Yeah.
backdrops. I've decided to be the grown-up every night with just my home.
and so,
But yeah, we do have, half of our employees don't have the upgraded computers that can get the backdrops. So there's definitely some FOMO there, but yeah, it's pretty easy if you have the functionality.
Yeah, and we just take embarrassing pictures of each other and throw them up as our backgrounds all the time.
Or videos, those are my favorite.
Pretty
Yeah,
much what we're
videos.
doing these
yeah.
days.
So to kind of continue on with that question, how to do it, because we all had to learn. If you do have Zoom, when you do have your video going, you don't have that right now as an attendee, but you can click the up arrow next to your start video, and it says choose virtual background, and it'll take you to a place where you can add images, and if you have a computer that can handle it, videos. So let's see, one of the videos I have, we did a team outing. We did virtual reality. So there's Natalie, myself, Roland, we're doing VR. And so you can do videos on here. It's super cool. Highly recommend it if you want to spice up your Zoom meetings or any interviews that you're doing. I saw that's what Angie was saying. She said, I thought Mel's Parlor was a backdrop.
The other thing that happens is if you leave your Zoom camera unattended like this, somebody will take a screenshot and then will use it as their backdrop, and they're going to look like they're in your parlor, which is really going to confuse you on Zoom calls. Believe me, it's happening.
That is awesome. So I wanted to address that because I know Andrea asked it in the beginning and I did not want to forget. Let's see. Do we have any questions on Facebook, Roland?
Let's see here. Jose asks how big the post should be.
Yeah, like, do you want one where you don't have to expand it, or like, where's the?
So I'll take this one. Like we talked about before, and making sure that it's like segmented and broken out, but I actually learned this from Natalie. You should definitely have a see more, but make sure whatever is before see more is like super juicy and like attention grabbing, because if it is longer than I think it's like 100 something characters, then people won't click on it. So either or is fine. We always recommend switching it up, but whatever you have in the beginning of your post will dictate if someone is going to click see more.
Okay, so when you're creating your post, do you know where it's going to split to the see more? Because sometimes there's like that unfortunate editing where it like stops in the middle of something that looks like a
Yeah. So here's one way.
You don't know, but you have the ability to edit after you post. So if you post it and you notice, oh
Right.
my gosh, my hook was below it, then you could just go back and edit your post.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you saw what I just did there, this was the post that I just made, and you can see this read more button right here. So you can revisit this post, and then when you're editing it, you'll know roughly where it's going to pop. You know, in this case right here, and anything below here will be the see more. So just
already 11 comments, by the way.
Post and edit. Oh yeah, look at all these people. So okay, so sorry. Quick bonus tip for everybody. Okay, so this is bonus tip. Facebook loves it when the OP, so the OP stands for original poster. Original poster is engaging with the content, because what they don't want to have happen is someone post something and then just ghost it. So in this case, I'm going to say, Brandon, you get ticket 1. Okay, Shani, she's an employee. Okay, so Shani, we're gonna go ticket 0. she's not eligible to win. Ticket 2. And so as I'm doing this here, there we go, Mr. Queen.
That is hilarious.
Ticket 4. And sometimes too, you'll see, you know, this is just kind of funny. You know, if you reply back with something that's related, so in this case, you can see how easily I'm doing this. You know, I'm replying back with Mr. Queen here. But what's happening is, as I'm engaging with this, Facebook's like, hey, wait, the original post is still here. Let's promote it to more people in their feeds. And it's only going to get more and more and more. So
another one. Roland, you're sending out the hats. I'm not doing that.
There are at my house.
I know. That's why Roland went back to the office. He's like, should I get anything? I was like, yes, all the hats that you promised people. So that's another really good hack.
Right, and I'm going to say goodbye to you all because I am a half hour overdue for the Oregon Washington Housecall Pro meetup. So I'm going to head over there and catch the last half hour of their meetup, and I will see you guys all tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you, Mel.
Thanks, everyone.
And there's a couple of other questions. Natalie, take this one. Is liking a comment? It's from Nettie. Is liking a comment count as engaging, or should you actually reply to every comment on a post?
Liking a comment does count as engaging, and you should also reply to every comment on a post. The comments are really going to do a lot of goodwill to your customers, and as Roland just mentioned before, Facebook really likes that. So you should do both. You should like it and you should comment with a reply.
Yep. And sometimes too, the longer the reply and the more unique it is, then Facebook likes it even more. So if you're just copy and pasting the same thing over and over again, you get less points. If everything is well written out, longer, real sentence, Facebook's going to count it for more.
Lino also asked, can you just walk us through how to set up a page? I don't think mine's right at all. So we're not going to do that. But what I am going to do is post a link in the chat right now if you're wondering how to set up your business Facebook page correctly, because I know it does get confusing, like you're posting from your account and the page. So I just posted in there how to make a business Facebook page for your small business. Also, Facebook has a, I'm going to post it again too. They have like a whole section on business Facebook pages. They have lots of resources on there. So I just posted those. Let's see, anything else?
Mary on Facebook says, I'm newly taking over the marketing. What do you recommend picking up where someone left off, but what to change it up completely? The business page has a lot of followers, so I don't want to recreate a new page. It was more used as a personal page than a business page, ? What would you advise Mary Helen to do?
So the first thing I would do, Mary Helen, is do an audit of all of your marketing systems. So that's your Instagram, like all your social media, any email marketing that's going out, newsletters, any like texts that are going out. So just do a quick audit and see like what's the current, like what's the state of them? Are these actually good? Are they like getting likes because they're good, or like people just sympathy liking them? I don't know. So I would first do an audit of all of your systems. And then I would not make a new Facebook page. If you're already getting likes on there, don't go ahead and make a new one. But what I would do is start implementing fresh new things. So like for different things that we do. So we have Lady Pros, we have the COVID evening update, and all of those things have their own like unique kind of branding to it. And you have the opportunity now as you're doing marketing to put your own spin on things.
Yeah, and you don't need to like go through and delete a whole bunch of other stuff unless it's just inappropriate. As long as it's there, people understand pages go through stuff and transitions. So it's not going to hurt your Facebook algorithm. It's not going to hurt your customers. Just start implementing the new stuff. People also like to see progression over time. Sometimes it's endearing to see how a page started and how kind of content was before, and then as it grows up and it's more professional, maybe nicer graphics or different tones or different types of content. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily bad.
And do we have any other ones, or should we wrap it up?
I think we're good. I think we're good here.
Okay, so 2 quick things, Roland. You don't even have to pull up the slide deck. If you've been watching us this week and last week, you know that we have free virtual meetups. You can think of them as a kind of like as a continuum of what we're doing here on the evening updates. There's a theme every month, and there's 7 this week. Mel is actually on the one in Oregon right now, so they're by state and by region. But if you just want to go for the content, not necessarily to network with people in your area, feel free to register for them. One that all of you, if you are a woman watching right now, sorry boys, we are doing a Lady Pro meetup tomorrow. It conflicts with this one, so you're gonna have to like double dip a little bit. That starts at 4:30 Pacific, 6:30 Central. And the topic is home life balance there. Tomorrow's guest, we are so excited to have on. She is an absolute firecracker and just so smart. And some of the things she says, you're like, why have I not been doing that? It is so simple. I'm going to go immediately put this into my business. She was our keynote speaker at the Lady Pro Mastermind in Dallas last November. She's the telephone doctor, Nancy Friedman. So she's going to be talking all about selling during a crisis. We've seen a lot of posts recently saying, I feel bad asking my customers to like add things on. I feel weird asking them to book me. So if you are feeling weird or pushy on that subject of asking your customers, like she's going to talk all about selling with compassion. And also she is an expert on customer service. So I made a post in the coronavirus group. It's, I think, pinned to the top, or it's at least an announcement. You can just click and see announcements. If you have any questions, we want to send them to her in advance because she'll be able to prepare for them. So anything on selling and customer service, post in there, or you can ask him live tomorrow night. But that's what you have to look forward to. Tomorrow night's going to be our last I just hit my mug. Our last broadcast of the week. Again, we're going to that Monday through Thursday schedule, so you can have your Friday evenings back with your family. And we will be sharing what the topics are for next week's show schedule tomorrow. So other than that, have a great night. We hope this was helpful. And we're going to practice what we preach. Roland, Natalie, what's our one call to action from this Workshop Wednesday?
My one call to action is go change the header image on your Facebook page to include that we are open and that you've got your COVID safety precautions in place with that check mark. So if you need access to that, we will post a link to the image that we created that you can literally steal and throw your logo on top of it. So go do that right now.
Yep. I would also say that you want to make sure that that post that you have pinned to the top of your Facebook page is also about the coronavirus, also about an elaboration to that header that you just added, elaborate all of the precautions that you're taking, all of the news services and ways you're dealing with it. That way that your page is up to date so people can book you.
Mm-hmm. And then I think my CTA, so you're getting 3 CTAs. After you do Roland's and Natalie's, try doing a Facebook Live. Think about one topic that is really relevant right now for your customers, because what you guys can do is reuse these lives. What we do is we take snippets of them and we make them videos of their own. So think of one thing in your industry that would be helpful to your customers right now that you can go live about. And before we leave, let me post this, the help article, the blog post. Where is it? Right here. This is exactly what we talked about tonight in terms of the Facebook Live. Make sure you go there. If you don't have a chance to click on the link, just go into the housecallpro.com/learn and search for Facebook Live, and it will be in there.
I'll find it.
Other than that, we appreciate you sticking with us for an hour and a half. We know that this was long, but we hope it was helpful and you'll be able to go and implement these 3 call to actions at least. So have a great rest of your night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, go have a great night with your families. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.